inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher, unlock the fire in you, cause real women don't bitch, no, real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey there, guys. I am so excited about this segment and many more segments to come throughout the life of this podcast. I have conducted over 40 interviews prior to launching Real Women Don't Bitch, and I've spoken with several entrepreneurs who have given away their secrets, talked about how you properly brand yourself, mindset hacks, getting support, dealing with the change in family dynamics, all of that stuff that this show has been to talk about. I've had the privilege of interviewing several entrepreneurs. What I'm going to do is allow you to hear some of the most powerful segments that have come from some amazing summits that I have conducted. Enjoy and listen to the wisdom that is going to come from this speaker. Hey, welcome back. Didn't we tell you that we were bringing in a part 2? So you already know us. It's August and Lisa. You saw us before talking about your money and how you better not be commingling. You got to get your stuff together. And we said we were going to give you a bonus segment. And #1, Lisa, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming back and doing this again. This is an extreme labor of love, and I really, really appreciate it because you and I both know that we really, really care about entrepreneurs knowing their numbers, because you guys could be brilliant, but if you don't have your money together, honey, you are going to fold. And so the surprise that we have for you today is that Lisa's basically going to take you through the course of a mock strategy session with her so you can see how numbers go from chaotic to actually making some sense. And so I'm going to interject. I will ask some questions, maybe even connect some dots for you. But Lisa's just going to say, hey, here's the scenario. Here's what you got. And this is what the situation is going to look like so that you guys can see the importance of having your numbers together for calculating your money. This comes into play with paying your taxes, all of that stuff. So I don't need to say anything else. You ready to shine, baby?
I'm ready.
Come on, my sassy Southern accountant.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so a strategy would be, say, for example, you're a client, you come to me, and your numbers are all in chaos because you're making $2,000 a month, but you have no clue where that money's going. You can't pay yourself. So first thing we're going to do is, and y'all are going to laugh at me, but you're going to make a spreadsheet. You're going to do a spreadsheet of your business expenses. You're going to do a spreadsheet of your personal expenses. And on that spreadsheet, not only are you listing it out, but you're also listing out the dates they're coming out, whether automatic or manual pay, and you put them in order. So in the date order that it comes out. Now, the reason why you're doing two separate ones is because we don't want to commingle our funds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So one spreadsheet for personal, one spreadsheet for business. And then what I do with the clients is we look at it, and then you go and you do an income. You have to go in and analyze your income. You need to go in and look at your numbers and determine how much money it is you're making.
Mm-hmm.
And so many don't do that. So many people don't know. So you have to do that. Because if you don't know how much money you're bringing in, how can you pay yourself? Right?
Okay. Right. So this is like very rudimentary, and I hate to interrupt you, but the thing about it is, you know me, you know how I like to interject and how I like to connect the dots. Like, seriously, answer this question in your mind. If you went to Lisa right now to work with her and she said, oh, okay, you know, she doesn't do taxes. She does them for her clients. I don't want you guys to think she's a tax lady. She's a numbers coach. But let's just do a hypothetical. You go to Lisa and you say, hey, I need you to do my taxes. To have everything be legitimate. How many of you can honestly say, I spend $676.13, I mean, literally to that degree, in order for my business to function? How many of you know that in order to pay your bills every month, you need, $4,332.62 a month? How many of you just have money automatically paying into your account because somebody clicked on PayPal and it's $200 here, $300 here, and you're like, okay, well, at least the bill got paid and I can go get something to eat. But you don't know if once you add those two numbers together, it's only like $3,424, or whatever it is. Very basic, rudimentary things. But a lot of times, because you're getting by and you may be making payment arrangements on crap, you may not really know your numbers. This is legitimate. This is real. And she's not making up a scenario. She's giving you a mock scenario based on some real-time data. So I'm sorry, take it back.
No. And that's true. And the reason why I break it down elementary is because I want it, I'm going to be real here, I want it smack in your face. Yes. I want it here because when we get paid through Stripe, through PayPal, automatic transfer, out of sight, out of mind. When our bills are automatically debited, automatically debited, out of sight, out of mind. It's like you forget when a bill's going to come out. My car insurance, for the life of me, I can never remember. That sucker comes out at the same time every month. You want to know how I remember? I get an alert 7 days before it's coming out on my phone via text, and I get an email, and I have it set that way to remind me in my face. I make sure it's in my face to remind me, and it's on my spreadsheet.
Yes.
And the reason I do that is because, especially mompreneurs, come on, we got kids, we got husbands, we got our business, we've got whatever extracurricular activity we've got. It's hard to keep up with everything, much less be able to remember every single bill that's going to come out and every single time we've gotten paid via Stripe or PayPal. So
Absolutely.
That's why I break it down. But yes, so you need to go and you need to look at your transfers. And you need to go log into your PayPal and your Stripe to figure it out, go. But figure out how much money you've got. Now, this is actually based off of a true client. I'm not using any names, but these numbers vaguely are basically off there because I can remember a lot of it in the head because literally she's worked with me for the last 2 months. Okay, so common, your numbers are, you say you're making $2,000 a month, okay? And right now your business expenses, they're not a lot. You've got $600, and I'm making it flat even numbers just to make it easy.
Gotcha.
You got $600 coming out on your business expenses, and that's going to leave you about $1,400. Now I'm doing it to where it's in the positive. Okay, it gets a little bit more difficult when you're in the negative. If you're in the negative, then you've literally got to analyze it week by week, sometimes day by day. Sometimes we're doing twice a week. And so for each client, it's different, but the whole purpose is you have to analyze it. And that's the reason why you do the spreadsheet, because you look and you say, okay, I've got these 5 bills this week, but personally, I only have 2. So, okay, so more of the money needs to go here. And then the next week, you only have 2 business bills, but I got 5 business bills here. Okay, most of the money needs to come here.
You meant 5 personal. You said
personal
2
bills.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I got you. Just to make sure they don't get, I got you. Just so they don't get confused. Yeah.
So then you got more money. It's got to go to a personal. So when you've got your business money coming into that separate account, you then look and say, okay, well, I have $1,000 this week that came in. Okay, and you've got $600 that's due over here, and you've only got $200 over here. Well, right away you can't pay, but you're like, but I want to pay myself $600. Well, come on, logistically you can't, right? Not if you want to grow your business, and not if you want to keep your business. So you say, okay, I'm going to transfer this to pay my personal, right? And then you're going to keep this over here to take care of your business. Now, the cool thing is at least you're not in the negative.
Right.
And that's the whole goal. Excuse me. Sometimes I have them where they come to me and they are in the negative. And it takes a little bit of, I say finagling, but it takes a little bit of finesse and finagling to make it work. And part of what we do is we will look and say, okay, what expense can be done away with? What expense is not necessary? You know, what expense can you cut back? If you're spending $300 a month on getting your hair done, can you cut that back to $100 so it saves you $200 until you get your business expenses up or business income up, if that makes sense?
Now let me ask you a question. Let's go back, because you nitpicked them a lot, on that first segment, because we brought in that whole thing about Uncle Sam. So you have this person and they had $1,000, but they had $600 in personal expenses. So that knocked them down to $400. Then they had $200 in business expenses. So that knocked them down to $200. But then they have that good old Uncle Sam thing over there. And if they calculate that in, that's $153. They barely only have $47 left. And we talked about putting that money to the side. Now, so my question that I'm just asking for this person with this scenario, was that $200 expenses something other than that? Did they have to wait to even be able to start taking that money and putting it to the side? Yeah. Because that's something else, because I'm just asking this because people that did watch your first segment, that's the kind of thing, if they're a little bit astute, they might ask that question. And so, but we really want you guys to see this full picture, that there are a lot of things you're supposed to be doing to be responsible with your business that you may not even be able to do straight out the gate because you got to get the chaos out of your numbers. Mm-hmm. All right. So,
well, and example, okay, with the client that I'm talking about, she actually was basically coming down to zero. Okay, she wasn't negative or anything. She was zero. She was zero once she took business expenses out and personal expenses out. Because she was technically zero, she's technically going to be in the negative anyway with her business expenses making money. So if you're in the negative on that net, they're not going to tax you. Okay, but the whole purpose is to get you to where you're in the positive and not in the negative so that your business is thriving. So at first with her, we weren't even putting money aside for taxes. There wasn't any money to put aside.
Right.
She was barely making it. Now we've got her numbers where she's not completely out of the woods, but she is starting to get into the positive where there is money. So now we're going to be putting 15%, and what I do is I do it off the top as a cushion to be safe. I don't say, okay, after your business expenses, then take 15.3%. And the reason why I don't do that is because if you miscalculate one time or whatever, it's just safer and easier just to take it off the top. So if you've got $5,000 coming in, or this week you've got $2,000 coming in, and you're in the positive, you're good, then take 15% off of that top, put it in the tax, and then look and break down your take the money out for your business expenses, and then look at a percentage, to pay yourself. Now, I say as a sole proprietor, if you're making under $250,000, and it's the norm is what they say we should be paying ourselves 50% of whatever we make. Okay, so if you're bringing $5,000 a month, norm, you should be paying yourself $2,500 a month. Okay, that's the norm. Most of us aren't there yet because we were finagling, we were commingling, we were doing whatever the hell it is we were doing.
Right.
So you've got to get your numbers in order and then analyzing and breaking it down in order to get to that point. I've got one client who's only getting 30% right now. I've got another client where she was only transferring whatever was due at a particular point. We were doing it once a week, but that's all she was getting. She wasn't getting a certain percentage. But we're getting, because we were doing it on a consistent basis, we were analyzing it, and we were actually tracking it and making sure she was telling the money where she wanted to go. She could actually see it. It made more sense. And so now, okay, I see I need to go and get this many clients. I need to do this, or I need to raise my prices, or I need to do this. And I do that with them. And then in that process, she was able to increase her fees. She was able to go up and knew what she needed to do. She needed to go out and be more visible, get more clients. And when she did, and she started doing what she does best, and then sitting with me and us analyzing it in, the more income was starting to come in. Now we were able to analyze it and say, okay, now we can actually start figuring out your percentage. She's not at 50%. She knows that. But she's at a small percentage to where she can actually start paying herself something consistent. But we're going to take 15% off the top. Bit. Now, I have one client when we first started, we didn't do 15%. We started off at 10, okay, because she wasn't bringing in enough money. And I analyzed that with them and determine, my whole goal is you should do 10 to 15% off the top. But if you're not bringing in enough money to where it makes sense to do the 15 and it's leaving you and it puts you in the negative, then drop the percentage, but put something so you're not putting yourself in a hole at the end of the year. And that's the whole goal. And that's what we do, is we analyze it. And then each time, we look and we say, okay, your income's increased, so let's reanalyze the percentages. So you don't want to stay at that. You don't want to put 5% in the whole year, and all of a sudden you can pay yourself 90%. You don't want to do that. You want to make it to where you can actually put money back into your business, but you're also putting money up for taxes.
Now, okay, so let me just comment on that last part immediately, because I have found that it's a common mistake. And this is just with all facets of life, whether it's saving for taxes, people just knowing how to save, period. When people can't do it big, they don't want to do it at all. And, it's like, well, I'm going to open up this when I have $5,000 and I'll do this, and they don't understand the power of compounding, not that we're getting ready to go there, and all of those other things. And so I hope you guys are hearing, the point is you're going to have to pay the taxes in the end. At least you want to, which we already discussed this, because you want to show that you're a profitable business bringing in bank. But it feels a whole lot better to put at least 7, 8, 10, 11% to the side, because at the end of the year, once you do get your taxes done and it's like, oh, wow, you owe $4,000. And it's like, oh, man, I don't have $4,000, versus if they do it your way, they may at least have $3,200. And the thing about it is, I'm not getting ready to say what I'm about to say to encourage someone delaying paying the IRS. But the thing about it is at least if you start off with something, there's the ability to negotiate and the flexibility to have payment arrangements. And, if you can't do it all at once, but the thing about it is if you've been saving and if you've been building and growing, it should be nothing to say, oh, I got to make up that $800 difference. The other thing that I'm hearing with you too, and I just want to put this out because I want to compliment you for this. This is the difference between having an accountant versus having a numbers coach with accounting skills. I hear you saying things like, if they look at their numbers consistently, then they're going to have some reality checks. You're going to know your self-worth. Do you need to change your prices? Do you need to get more clients? Does that mean you need to be more visible? And I want you to even go back for a second and talk about those sacrifices. What do you do to get the numbers where there's some level of profitability? Because if this other woman was just basically hitting zero, I'm sure that you guys probably talked. Yeah, there's some stuff she had to cut, and I'm very certain that she had to do something, and she probably had to talk to you on a much more frequent basis. Go ahead and kind of explain it.
what I normally do with my pay me first is twice a month. Okay. When she first came to me, we were talking literally once a week.
Okay.
Literally once a week for 2 months. And that was my choice because I saw it. I didn't charge her extra for it. That was what was needed. She didn't have, and she was she was ashamed. She was ashamed of the situation she was in. Ashamed of not looking at her numbers. It stressed her out so much that she just didn't do it. So I had her do the spreadsheets, and we start analyzing them week by week. And then I would send her an email and say, okay, I need you to do this. I want you to look at this. There was one time where we had 2 calls in 1 week because we know there was bills coming in. And we hopped on a Zoom. We did it for 30 minutes. And the next time we'd be on there for an hour, and we looked at it. This last time, I'm not talking to her for another week and a half.
All right.
Paid through the end of everything bills wise is paid, personal and business, through the end of the month. And I thought she was going to cry because she was so elated. And I told her it's her. She did what she had to do. She was getting her hair done every 4 weeks. Okay. That was something that had to go. I mean, I hate saying it, but you got to look at it and say, okay, it's a necessity. So if you're using Meet Edgar and you're not utilizing it yet, but you're paying $55 a month for it,
cut it out.
It's got to go. So we don't look at just your personal expenses and determine what can go. We look at your business as well. Then, Dropbox or Acuity scheduling or the calendar, we'll look and we'll say, okay, well, how much is it if you pay it for a year? Do they give you a big enough discount? Because some of them, they don't give you crap. Okay?
Right.
And I don't recommend it. But like Dropbox, you save almost $30 a year to go ahead and do it. That's one of the goals we have. Now, if we can't do it right away, we set goals and we set intentions. Okay, we want to get to a point where we can pay this and you don't have to worry about it for 12 months. Well, instead of $9.99 a month, it's $6 and something a month you're actually putting into your operating expense account because you're still putting it monthly. Because if you don't put it away monthly, again, you're not going to have it at the end of the year. Exactly. You're still putting it away monthly, but instead of it being $10, it's $6. That's $4 a month.
Now, just to slow down for 2 seconds, because I get it. And I get it. And for the people that are mathematically astute, they get it. But everybody doesn't like to discuss numbers. And so I want to make sure that you guys get this. So using easy numbers, if there's something out there that only costs $120 for the year, because that's what your discount is going to be. It could be $15 a month, but if you pay it for the year, you're going to save $5 a month. It's only $10 a month. It's $120. The thing is when you pay that $120 for the year, you want to be building up for the next year. It's just like paying your taxes. So you're setting aside $10 a month. And a lot of times what's happening with entrepreneurs, and you guys, that this is what's happening. You're looking and you're saying, oh my God, I got to have lead pages. And if I get it now, it's only going to be $37 a month. And, you do that $37 a month, but then your money starts getting tight and you're like, oh my God, I barely have enough to pay it. And I got $500 in the bank. Well, they just sent me an email, and if I sign up now, I can just get it for $300 for the year. That's a steal. And you'll go and impulsively pay for that $300 to have access to lead pages for the entire year. Didn't look at your numbers. You only got $200 left in the bank, and you got a $300 car note. And you didn't account for, it's like, oh, dang it. Because when you're not intentional about looking at these numbers like this, you make yourself a prey to predatory tactics or just regular sales tactics. Because everybody that's selling ain't predatory. And you make decisions without thinking. You did a rant one day in the group. I loved it. About emotional spending. And how you need to take you really
object syndrome, emotional spending. I did.
I was dying. I was loving it. But I mean, I'm literally breaking it down this way because I'm hoping that the people that are watching right now, that you're saying, shit, I did do that. And you want to know what's even crazier? is that a lot of you're making lead pages, but you don't even have the clientele and nobody's seeing them anyway. And if you work with someone like Lisa, she's going to be like, do you really need lead pages? Because this is what usually happens, and I'm going to pass the mic back to you, is that something comes up, an opportunity comes up, and it's like, oh my God, well, it would be so much easier and I look so much more professional if I could just have them do Adobe Sign. And then you go to Adobe Sign, it's like, oh, well, it's $15 a month. And you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and sign up because this is so amazing because I got a client that's going to sign the contract. God forbid you send it and they don't sign. But even if they do sign, you were already robbing Peter to pay Paul, barely able to pay your bills in the first place. You just signed up for something because it wasn't nothing but $15 anyway. And next month, when you go get ready to swipe something, it's like, why 15? And you'll see that little code. You're like, $15 for what? And completely forgot about that. And when it's $15 here and $16 for Zoom and such and so, you guys see, I know a lot of numbers. Think about that one for a second.
Up.
And you like $150 just gone, so back to you. This is why you analyze those numbers so strongly. And this is all part of the strategy session, you guys. She's telling you bits and pieces of what she's doing with the person along the way. But in the strategy session, all of this stuff is getting broken down. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, and the other thing, that's the reason why I tell you I want it, whether it's automatic draft or manual pay. The other thing is I tell the clients, I don't care if you pay it yearly, I don't care if you pay it monthly, I don't care if you pay it every other year. Guess what? What do we pay 2 years, 3 years in advance? Our hosting.
Mm-hmm.
That domain, that hosting. And you get that discount that first time. You pay it because I've done it. And 3 years later, all of a sudden,
200 and something,
$350, $400 something dollar bill, and you're going, oh shit.
Exactly.
It goes on the spreadsheet. You say it's $350 yearly, and then what I do is I redo the spreadsheet and I send it back to you, and $350 yearly is in the notes. And I've got that $350 broke down to what it is monthly.
Exactly.
Because you know then exactly how much you have monthly in reoccurring expenses, because that's technically a reoccurring expense.
Yes, it is.
Even if it's not due every single month, it's an expense you want to keep, and it's a non-negotiable. And that's the other thing. We look at those non-negotiables. Your rent's a non-negotiable. I can't tell you to do away with your rent.
Right. Duh.
Nice, but I can't. So there's non-negotiables, okay? And we go through those non-negotiables. Now, I have some clients who aren't willing to give up certain things, and I tell them, okay, it's going to take you longer. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able to look at it. And I'm not saying you give up things forever. I'm just saying you be mindful of it and break it down so that we can get it in the positive. And so when you sign up for these year things, you forget about them, and that's where it ends up screwing you. So
heck yeah.
Your taxes, you've got to make it broke down and make sure it's included. And so that's the reason why I say have a separate expense account and put that money in there, and you just pay your bills out of it. And if there's anything left over, you leave it because it's taking care of those other expenses. And so then once we're doing that, then we look and say, okay, can we start paying yourself a certain amount? And we start looking at it and we analyze it week by week, and then gradually it's every 2 weeks. And then we get to the point to where we can say, you know what, I've got $3,000 coming in. My business expenses is $1,000. So you've taken the 15% off the top. And sorry, I do not do head math in my head. I don't. So $450.
Yeah.
See, you do math in your head. I don't do math in my head. So you got $2,550. So then your business expenses are $1,000. That leaves you $1,550. Now everybody else is going to say, yeah, I can pay myself $1,550. No. Let me repeat that. No. Okay? Because if you pay yourself that entire $1,550, then what the hell are you going to invest back in your business to grow it?
Yeah.
And not only that, you pay yourself $1,550, you go and pay your bills and say you've got, I don't know, $500 left over, and you go and blow it. And the next month is a slow month. And you have $1,000. Now what?
Hello.
You're screwed. Plain and simple, you're screwed. And that's the reason why we analyze it. We don't jump the gun and pay ourselves. Oh, boom, I paid my business. I got $2,000. Pay myself. Now I'm going out to party. No.
I like that because
enough. No.
That's a even better breakdown, because we talked about that in the last segment of how the amount you pay yourself isn't supposed to fluctuate. How you look and analyze how much you're making on a consistent basis and look at it every 90 days and keep it set. And if you're supposed to pay yourself $500, if you end up having a stellar week, you still only pay yourself $500, because you've got to learn those, peak seasons and those slow seasons. But I'm going to take it a step further. Not everybody, but most of the people that are watching this, you are some form of a coach or a healer or something. And beyond the shadow of a doubt, you need to be investing in yourself. And so it's the same thing. You got a coach. You may have one now, but you want to take some money and be putting it to the side because maybe you don't need, maybe you got a branding coach, but maybe next time you need someone that's a mindset coach. Maybe you got the mindset coach, but you got some relationship issues and you need a relationship coach. Maybe whatever it is, you're constantly keeping coaching, or maybe you want to up level your business. So you need a coach of a higher caliber. That, you got to be thinking about the other stuff that will come with your business. It's even on a personal level. What happens when, and you find out your deductible is higher or the dental work isn't covered. You have, just like you have emergency expenses and stuff that comes up in the personal world, you have stuff that also comes up in the business the business world. And when it's time to make a move, you don't want to be like, oh my God, I keep missing opportunities because I don't have money. But you went and partied. You partied that opportunity away. You've got to be forward thinking if you're going to take entrepreneurship seriously. It was a pleasure to share this segment with you. I know there were plenty of nuggets that you walked away with to strengthen you as a business owner. If you would like to get access to the additional 35 videos with the full interview, along with a great workbook to help you refine and fine-tune and tweak your business, head on over to the website and find out how you can get the rest of the audios for the Real Talk for Business Mastery Summit interviews. Until the next segment, you guys have a great day. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomen.don't bitch.podcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless, signing out. Deuces!
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in